Before the construction of the Rishi Moon outpost in the early days of the Clone Wars, a squad of highly trained and elite clone troopers led by Kit Fisto was sent to the planet Rishi after the Separatists had invaded it for its very rare resources. While there, Kit Fisto is forced into a situation where he needs the best sharpshooter in his squad to do something pretty crazy. I'm going to break down how Kit Fisto discovered one of the most accurate and precise clone sharpshooters to ever serve the Republic. Before we get into it, make sure to hit the subscribe button for more awesome Star Wars lore content. We begin on a pretty dry and rocky part of the planet Rishi, deep in the Outer Rim, where the fierce Separatists have arrived, desperate to strip the world of all of its resources in order to power their new sonic weapons. On the planet, they want to extract its rich supply of Exonium, which was a very potent fuel that could power the Separatist weaponry for a large chunk of the war. In order to stop the Separatist plan and protect the bird-like natives of Rishi, the Jedi Council immediately dispatched an elite company of clone troopers to the area in order to secure the mining facilities and ensure that the Separatists could not get their hands on this fuel. Unfortunately, however, because the war was spreading the Jedi so thinly throughout the galaxy on different missions, campaigns and battles, there was no Jedi General available to guide these clone troopers into battle just yet. The clone troopers, however, were more than capable of leading themselves into battle with their own command structure, but they were simply not prepared for the pure strength of the Separatist defense on Rishi. Because of this, the clone commander in charge of the operation orders his men to pull back and retreat from the Exonium mines, much to the horror of the native Rishi leader, Chieftain Gwark. Gwark is of course furious that the clone troopers have pulled back and allowed his mines to be occupied by the Separatists before demanding to know who gave the order to retreat. Moments after this, however, Jedi General Kit Fisto lands on the mountaintop, greeting his clone troopers and confirming to the native Rishi chief that he gave the order. He tells Gwark that the Jedi Council sent troopers to protect his people, but that there was to be no full-scale effort until Fisto arrived to oversee the operation. Gwark is not too happy with this response, asking Fisto, "Created this army for warfare, did you not? I put your warriors to their purpose. They failed because their power is not great enough." The green-trimmed clone commander then rushes in to defend himself, telling the Rishi chief that the Geonosians were just dug in too deep to make any progress. But the bird chief isn't having it, telling the clone commander that energy from the stones in the mountain are needed for my people to prepare food in the frost time. We must attack again. We need strength to give us victory. And as usual, let me know in the comments below what you think this green-trimmed clone commander should be called, since he is never given a name in the story. I'm sure you guys will come up with something awesome like always. Following this, Master Fisto defends his clone commander, telling the Rishi chief that attempting to overpower an enemy that has a tactical advantage will only lead to further defeat. We must turn the strengths of our enemy against him. As he says this, he pulls out his macro binoculars and witnesses the horrible sight of the Geonosian invaders dragging the dead bodies of his clone troopers away into their dark, gloomy caverns. After witnessing this horrible sight, he tells his men that they must turn the strength of their enemy against them. He also tells his clone commander that the Geonosians' defense gives them excellent cover but severely limits their mobility, realizing that they can be defeated. His green-trimmed clone commander is shocked by this, asking, "Another attack, sir?" before Fisto orders him to get the company ready for a fight and also for a special favor. General Fisto asks the commander to send him the best sharpshooter of the company. In response, green-trimmed commander tells Fisto that the best clone sniper he has ever seen is CT-2242, nicknamed Cooker by his brothers. Following this, Cooker posts up on a nearby ledge, awaiting orders from his general, but Kit Fisto is interested about his history and asks him, "So tell me, Cooker, how did you get that name?" Cooker responds by saying, "Well, I usually target the power cells of battle droids. I like to watch them, burn." Yeah, you can already tell this clone trooper is slightly different from the rest, in an awesome way. Following this, his general is shocked at his skill and tells him that he must be one of the best snipers that the Republic had ever seen to be able to consistently hit a B-1 battle droid's tiny power cell. Cutting back to the Rishi chief, he is starting to get pretty angry, as he has not seen General Fisto in a long while, but his clone commander relays to the chief that Fisto has begun the attack without them. This of course infuriates the Rishi chief, but there is absolutely nothing he can do to change the situation at this point. Following that, Cooker begins to have some doubts about his usefulness, since he won't be able to get a direct line of sight onto the enemy from his current position. In response to this, however, Kit Fisto tells him, "That's alright, Cooker, because you'll be targeting me." This obviously shocks the young clone sniper, leading him to say, "Sir, I can't shoot at you." After this, Kit Fisto outlines his plan to Cooker, telling him, "When I enter the enemy's defenses, they will target me with their sonic weapons, which my lightsaber is unable to deflect. So, as I dodge, you will track me and fire continuously. Aim for my shoulder, and Cooker, try not to miss." In his mind though, Kit Fisto knows that this trooper is the best clone sniper to ever come out of the training centers on Kamino, and doesn't have a worry in the world about his ability. Moments later, Fisto leaps into the valley below and shouts to Cooker with the order to fire. Cooker then begins firing a barrage of blaster bolts from his sniper at his general with pinpoint precision, allowing Fisto to deflect the bolts into the enemy defenses. As this is happening, the Rishi leader is still doubtful of Fisto's abilities, saying, "This Jedi is very powerful, or very dead." After this, the Green Clone Commander then tells his men to mount up and move into the valley in order to give the general some help down there. While they are moving in, Cooker continues firing his weapon with the most accurate shots that Fisto has ever seen, turning the Jedi Master into a turret. Every shot Cooker takes is in the perfect spot to be deflected at the Geonosians. Fisto then continues leaping and jumping through the valley, killing as many Geonosians as he can, but is stopped in his tracks when he realizes that Cooker has stopped firing. As he asks what's going on up on the ledge, Cooker tells him, "Reloading, sir, just give me a second." Even the best clone sniper to ever serve is stopped dead in his tracks by the limits of his own weapon. But let me know in the comments if you think Cooker should join one of the elite squads of clone troopers in the Grand Army of the Republic. Which squad would you like to see him join? I'd love to see him work alongside Rex at some point in the war, but let me know which Jedi and which clone trooper you think he would best match with. He's definitely amazing with Kit Fisto, but I think he'd do amazing with Anakin and Obi-Wan as well. Fisto then tells him not to bother reloading, before brutally using the Force to snap the neck of a Geonosian. Finally, with one Geonosian left standing, Fisto throws his saber forward, right into the heart of the Geonosian, killing him immediately. Following this, he pulls his lightsaber back with the Force, and manages to break open the gates to the mine. Unfortunately, when he opens the gates, he is rapidly slammed to the floor by the Geonosians, who are still valiantly trying to protect the resources that they are trying to steal. Luckily, however, after Fisto is downed and on the ground, his men swoop in on their gunships, dropping down into the battlefield, rescuing their general and sending the Geonosians into full retreat. As he helps Kit Fisto up, the commander tells him that, "We've got them on the run, General. We'll have the mine secured very shortly." And to end the story, the Rishi leader walks up to Kit Fisto and tells him that he is indeed a very powerful Jedi, one that he is very proud to have defending his home planet. Being the humble man that he is, Fisto then tells the Rishi chief that it was the power of the mine that made this victory possible, plus a little help from a friend, as he waves at Cooker above, who is looking down on his general through the scope of his sniper. So that is the most accurate and precise clone sniper to ever walk off of Kamino and serve in the Grand Army of the Republic. Thanks so much for watching, really hope you enjoyed the video. Cheers guys, hope to see you in the next one.